Today we're starting out our stream. We're going to be interviewing my friend Victor. Victor, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm going to pull you into something.
Okay.
Ask me if you're interested in being interviewed. Yeah, I interview people I randomly meet on the internet or friends. Um,
Bye.
yeah, this is my first victim here. I totally forgot I did that. So, first thing first, let's go over how me and Victor met in the first place. So,
Oh yeah.
I joined the 354th MCB in what year was that even? What year is it now? 2020. I'd say 2021, right? 2021.
Yeah, I think you joined back in 2019, like just before the pandemic, huh?
No, it was literally during the pandemic. It was right after pandemic, like toward the tail end of
Was
pandemic.
it?
Yes, because we had COVID right before I came here. So there was a
Right.
lot of restrictions. I had to do my COVID leave because it was really weird. We had to do like 30. I had to do 30 days of quarantine when I first got here because of COVID. Just all this really weird stipulations and stuff like that coming from
Yeah.
Iowa to New York. So, um, yeah. So we hold on. So we met in towards the tail end of COVID. Um, and I met you in the S6, and I was just starting. Old supply sergeant was still in our unit actually, so we were transitioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing that weird
Yeah.
transition.
She stayed in. She was still there to help you fill you in essentially. But she was if I remember correctly, she was physically there, but 100% like mentally checked out.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. But no, I remember. Oh God, I remember being part of meetings where she had some deliverables that it was just like because she was so mentally checked out, like it was just kind of
Yeah,
lagging behind on her end.
it was kind of weird, and it wasn't the best handoff, honestly. Like, ugh, we were literally
Yeah,
kind
I
of throwing
remember
instead.
that.
There's so many balls that were dropped, but also it didn't help that our S4 was just just god awful.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
bad handoff. S4. S4 was god awful back in the.
I will say it was the chief that was god awful.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sergeant, I'm trying not to name drop.
Again, no names.
Yeah, a certain NCO, she was phenomenal actually, very knowledgeable, and a few times she had to put the chief in check. She was
Yeah.
just like, so she actually had to put chief in check a lot of times because he didn't understand. He didn't. God, he didn't know his job. He didn't know his job. That was like literally what it was. He didn't know his freaking job, and multiple times, I'm like, he's like, hey, so why isn't this item ordered? And I was like, that's class 7. I can't order that, chief. And he's just like, what do you mean you can't order it? Okay. Oh yeah, you're right. That human. Here you go. So he's like, what do you mean you can't order that? And I'm like, because it's class 7. And he's just like, oh, so you want me to just do your job for you? And I was like,
Oh boy.
no, I literally cannot order it. What is that? I had to correct him, and she was honestly my saving grace in that S4, or else I would have went freaking crazy. Yeah, it was horrible. So getting to that, so me and Victor really bonded at a annual training. So we really started bonding at annual training in Wisconsin. The same training I actually missed my uncle's wedding for. Kind of funny.
Ooh,
Yeah.
big oof.
No, I was. No, yeah, okay, yeah. That was the same training that I missed my uncle's wedding. It was kind of funny. I didn't miss much though. There's a lot of drama apparently in it. So me and Victor met in annual training, and um that's when we actually got really close. We both went Advon. Oh, there you go. We can start up. We both went Advon, and we bonded like most people in the army do.
Oh yeah.
Oh god. Me and Victor met each other our annual training in Wisconsin. It was like a month long of us just bond. We really started bonding during annual training, and yeah, it was rough. That was a rough. It was like honestly, it wasn't that bad, but here are some things we should talk about. Have you ever been around a tornado before?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
God, I still cannot believe how the one soldier was just like Oh, is this important?
I still can't believe how much everyone overreacted by that. Like, it still
Yeah.
astounds me because it's just something you don't really think about, especially growing up in the Midwest. You're just like, tornadoes.
Well, keep in mind, these are all like New Yorkers, right? Like that's A, like they've never had to deal with tornadoes before. But B, like I understand you growing up in the Midwest, like it's kind of like, who cares anymore? But
Yeah.
like, I mean, a tornado is actually kind of a serious thing.
Yeah,
Like
no
if
problem,
you,
man. Do what you gotta do.
like
Um,
if you, if you decide to do anything stupid, like a tornado will mess you up.
I mean, like, yeah, but like, you could see a tornado and be like, okay, that's a few miles away, you know?
Yeah.
So where's this interview? Yeah, sorry, we keep derailing, Dalton. We're getting to it. So, I don't know, man. Like, so where you've grown up mostly on the East Coast a lot, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever been around a tornado before, or really actually ever experienced other than that time in Wisconsin?
I have actually. So I remember back in basic training, I went to basic training. Uh, God, I know a basic training story.
That's how we know
But
we've lost the interview. So back in
yeah, I know.
basic training, no shit, there I was.
Oh
Uh,
shit, there it was. But seriously though, so it was Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I remember like there was a major tornado warning. Like the tornado was set to go right in the middle, like right through the base. And
yeah.
I remember we all had to like actually evacuate into the what was it, like the shelters.
Hold on, Dalton's like he said basic stories. I'm out.
Yeah, I
we
know.
lost him.
I'm
We lost him.
sorry. You asked the one question that led to a basic story right off the rip.
One time
Uh,
in basic training.
yeah. But like it's the only other time that I've ever experienced like a situation with tornadoes,
So,
right?
like burn him. It's so funny. I'm just watching you going around shooting the shit out of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, no. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm doing in this game. I'm just shooting everything.
Yeah, you're pretty much like you're basically going around. You're trying to shoot the props. Keep in mind that some of the props just have health, so you're just like, yeah.
I don't know.
A good hint is when you shoot props, they'll move. Not
Uh,
like people. When you shoot, oh excuse me. When you shoot people, they won't move.
okay.
But when you shoot props, they'll move. All right, sorry. Going back to your story.
Yeah,
One
no.
time in
Yeah,
basic training.
yeah. But yeah, just yeah, no. Tornado warning, we all had to go into the shelter and like we had to stay in the shelter uh like the night as like the tornado like whirled around us by the time we were allowed to go back. Um
Did you get us or did we win?
I think you won.
Yeah! Hell yeah,
Uh but
brother!
yeah. Yeah, so like by the time we got to like go back to the
We're
barracks, like
back.
everything was like destroyed essentially.
Holy crap.
Um
Wait, like actually? Like everything actually got fucked up?
yeah, it got fucked like the tornado went right through it.
Wow, that's crazy actually.
Yeah.
I've seen aftermath to tornadoes, but like none of them has ever actually affected me before. So that's interesting. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's not cool, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I know. I fucking spent that weekend cleaning up.
Oh my god.
Which they said, "All right, everyone's still alive. Great, nothing's changed. Let's keep going." We're like, "No."
Wow. Man, that's insane. Um, so I guess you have a little bit of trauma behind like reasonable trauma behind tornadoes. See,
Yeah,
like
like I've seen firsthand like what a tornado can actually do, and Yeah, so it was like when we were over at Wisconsin, they're like, "Hey, tornado warning." I'm like, "Oh shit, this is serious."
See, I was quite the opposite. I was just like, okay. Everyone's just like, oh my god, we're gonna die, and I'm like,
Yeah. To be fair, I think
yeah,
the BC, the battalion commander, I think he
I'm ready
also
whenever.
had firsthand experience with tornadoes,
give me
which
one
is why
second.
he was so serious about it.
That's true. Yeah, he's also from Iowa, so. Is your
Yeah.
girlfriend gonna be joining us?
I don't know what she's doing right now.
Okay, we'll just start it up and shoot each other. So, I mean, like, at the same time, me and him kind of had a chat on the side, and we're just like,
Damn it.
tornado. Are you the seeker again?
I am.
Get wrecked. You'll never find me. You know what would be wild? Tornado in Hawaii. Holy crap! You guys get hurricanes though. Like, I feel like that's
Yeah, we get
like
hurricanes.
I know, like in Hawaii though. That's
Oh,
immensely
we
big.
get hurricanes up in fucking
Oh,
Connecticut too.
what? Oh, okay. I guess you guys kind of like even it's kind of like the tail end of the hurricane though. Like,
Nah, man, fucking
no
Hurricane
way.
Sandy wrecked shit.
Hold on, I have to look this up now. Hurricanes northeast coast. Let's look this up. Wow, I must like I have that cruise control on. Oh man, I fucking guess so. Like Hurricane Ida apparently fucked some shit up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was like 2021. That was pretty recent actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
I guess
Like we get bad hurricanes.
God, I forgot it's called New England.
Yeah.
Victor, he's just going around trying to kill us. Um
Uh-huh.
that's fucking wild to me. So, of course, when we're going over this tornado thing, everyone's freaking the hell out and I'm just like with the BC, like even the BC
Oh
honestly, he
my
didn't really
god.
care. Um
Fucking die. What the hell?
Now the funniest
Oh,
part was when a certain LT had to do a safety
got
briefing.
you.
Hurricane Letta messed stuff pretty bad too. Letta? I don't know anything about Letta. See, I just don't pay attention to. I'm so inland. I never pay attention to hurricanes. It just doesn't matter to me usually because I'll be back in Eta. Was a deadly erratic category 4 that devastated Central America really in November 2020. Huh. But no, like hurricane. That's an I. Ida. Ida. Yeah, I corrected that. Um, so hurricanes are just something I generally never worried about in the Midwest. I lived through some hurricanes in Florida. I lived in Tampa for a while, and like even then, like it was kind of like a NBD to me. I ate it. Oh, hours. Now we got to go home. I have a really bad headache. I feel sick as shit. I'm just gonna go to sleep. Um, so, so now don't worry. We're gonna dial this back to you. Haha, Dalton, you broke as fuck. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna dialing it down. I was at this dinner table with a bunch of kids and just shit I never thought about. They're just talking about 9/11 and into 9/11. What did I just okay. Um I just didn't think about it and these kids are just like, "Oh yeah, this happened." And I was like this is going into the chat, right? I didn't think about it, but these kids actually like experience full hand 9/11. Like their
Oh yeah,
parents are working
absolutely.
it, this, that, and the other, working at in the same area, and like it's just something I never really thought about until, you know, it's just interesting, you know.
Yeah.
So
Like I remember physically like actively seeing the Twin Towers when I was young.
see,
Like I
that's
like I
interesting.
I remember seeing it in person.
Hmm.
Yeah. So like yeah, it is 100% a very different thing from like just seeing it on the news versus like, oh, I was there like a few months ago. It's gone now, right?
Yeah. And that's actually what I wanted to allude this. Like how was that? Like that has to be that's really fascinating to me because it's just something like that's a tragedy that you just don't generally like, oh, you're like, oh, that didn't happen to me. But like that's shit that's
Yeah, no,
actually affected people that you just really don't think about.
yeah. Well, I mean, keep in mind it happened so long ago. Like we were kids, right?
Yeah, no,
Like,
without a doubt.
we were really young. So at least for me, I understood the concept that people were dead, right? Like I understood that, but I don't think I fully grasped the full ramifications of the event, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't think I really understood 100%. Like I didn't really fully understand the ramifications. So like for me, like I remember like the extent of like my understanding of it was just that like, oh, this is like a bad thing that happened. There are people, a lot of people died, and that's sad.
Yeah.
There are, and then like obviously what the fucking media portrayed. So all the bullshit of just like they want our freedom and yada yada yada. Um, you know it. Yeah, yeah. It was just a lot. I think like just a lot of things that just
Hmm.
I missed simply because I was too young to really understand.
No,
Right.
absolutely. And I mean, we were young, but it is interesting because you just generally don't think about people who are actually affected by it. Like some of these kids
Yeah.
were just like, "Oh yeah, my mom worked at the Twin Tower," or this, that, and the other, and I was just like, "This is kind of weird to think about," you know?
Yeah.
And they were significantly younger than you. Like these guys were probably in their like the same age as my brother, like early
Oh
20s.
yeah.
So just really bizarre to me. Let's do this. So people like to talk that if you dig a hole right straight down the earth, that you would end up in China. Random fact of the day is the opposite of the U.S.
Oh
is
my god.
literally the ocean between Madagascar and Australia. So a friend of mine, a year before I joined the army, actually uh asked, "Are you joining the army?" And I had my long ass hair, and I was just like, "Fuck no." I don't know. I was like, hey dad, I'm bored. I'm gonna join the army. My dad was just like, the fuck? Because my dad didn't expect me to join the army, but that was just a
Yeah.
little. It's kind of funny that you said that. All right, so your friend developed cyst on his pelvis and couldn't
Yeah.
join. He got in basic training. Did you guys go to
Yeah.
basic together? Out of curiosity.
No, so it's interesting. He actually went after I did. So I joined right out of high school. Actually, I signed because I was 18 in my senior year. So I actually went ahead and signed, raised my hand while I was still in high school. And then as soon as I graduated, I went off to basic training. Um,
Okay.
so he actually waited until he got his associate's degree and then went to basic training, right? So he actually joined after. But it's interesting because I was the one that wanted to like go to college. Like I thought my whole life, like literally, I have memories, and like you can ask my mother, like since like fucking kindergarten, I knew, at least in my head, that I wanted to be an archaeologist. Like
That's that is such a wild twist compared to like what you ended up joining the army, what you're doing now with your life.
I know, like 100% different, but like I remember as a child, like I was obsessed with dinosaurs. I was obsessed with uh ancient civilizations. I was obsessed with history. Like I remember, like I was the kid where if you asked what I was watching, it was some kind of documentary on either Discovery Channel, History Channel, Animal Planet. I know so many useless animal facts. And just like historical facts, like about ancient Rome, ancient Japan, right?
Yeah, no
About the
problem, man.
Crusades, or like just oh, um. But anyways, I digress. But like since I was really small, I'm like it's like obviously my purpose in life is to be an archaeologist, paleontologist, anthropologist, whatever. Whatever like would get me out there digging and like discovering new things, right? And that was literally my mindset all the way up until senior year of high school. Like I truly believed it until senior year. Then things changed. So
And then the Fire
so
Nation attacked.
essentially so no, but like so all right, so here's like
Wait, Dalton goes aliens. Oh wait, no, it's aliens.
but no, there's a few factors about why I joined the army, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so kind of
Actually,
the backdrop is that so my mother was married
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
up
that's
and
right.
yeah, my mother was married up until uh high school, my sophomore year of high school. Now the thing is my mother's a lesbian, so
Mm-hmm.
she had a civil union. Now
Yeah,
here's the thing, back then gay marriage was still kind of like up in the air, like no one really knew all the rules. So when my mother and her partner got divorced,
yeah,
it got very dirty very quick.
yeah.
Um,
I didn't even know
like
that it's still illegal, especially in the East Coast. By the way, D&Q wants to know how tall you are.
I am 5'9".
He's taller than me.
Yeah,
So sorry.
like five
So
nine, 5'10", something like that.
what's your army height? Can we all have an army height?
Oh my god, I'm 69 inches.
Hell yeah! Like seriously, Dalton could probably how Dalton could contest. Everybody has an army height. You don't know how tall you are until the army tells you how tall you are.
Yeah. Yeah, and it might not even actually be your real height, but they wrote it down once and that's it.
Alright, let me write that down.
So, but yeah, yeah, so when my mother had her divorce, it got real ugly.
Yeah.
Long story short, it ended with my mother being framed for domestic abuse because it didn't actually
Oh.
happen, but she was being framed with domestic abuse. It got waived, because obviously we went to court and everything, and like, it obviously wasn't real. Like the judge was like, "No, this doesn't make sense."
Yeah.
But that had to happen. And on top of that, like all of the bank accounts were emptied. Like, um, I guess X, right? Her partner like emptied all the bank accounts, like the shared bank account, my mom's personal bank account, because she was put in as like a secondary, like in case of an emergency, she was also in charge of the account. So she was able to like call the bank, get access. Like by the time the divorce ended, my mom had to file for bankruptcy. Um, and then back then, because gay marriages were just kind of like fucking, no one knew what the hell to do with that, but didn't, and thus half of the mortgage that she was supposed to pay wasn't being paid for a year. And so like the year after, mom got stuck with like half a year's debt, half a year's mortgage worth of debt, which was like so much money. Anyways, so by the time senior year hits, I'm a really, really angry child, essentially, because my
Yeah.
world got flipped upside down.
Not only that, but like I know we had a short discussion of it, but you were actually close to. I don't have a name or context, but you were close for all intents and purposes. I'm just gonna say your other mom.
Yeah. Oh no, I was super close because I knew her since I was like 5. So like she like really has been in my life. She
For
had been in my life up until that point.
for all intents and purposes, she was your mother. Like she was your parent growing up
Oh yeah.
until about let's just your towards the bitter end of your high school, right?
Yeah, no, until like sophomore year, because sophomore year is when the divorce happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so like she was my mom, and it was like a switch. Like she just kind of became a person that I just didn't know. Um,
How young was she, if you
and
don't mind me asking?
say again?
How young was she in
If I
comparison?
remember correctly, I think there was
Was
close to a 10-year age gap between my mom and her partner.
mm,
Yeah, so she was really young.
okay, so they
Um,
yeah.
where was I?
You're talking about the basically essentially losing your other mother, the 10-year age gap, as well as like the divorce, sophomore year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so all that, so pretty much like my life kind of crumbled, like my understanding of the world crumbled
Yeah.
in sophomore year of high school.
Now,
So
just for context, you don't talk to that mother at all. You never reached out to her or anything. Like she's
not at
and
all,
you have
not
no
at all.
intention of either, right?
No, no, it really made me bitter, honestly. It really made me bitter and angry because
No, you
I
essentially lost a parent, and your parent mistreated your parent as well. Like that's
yeah,
yeah,
like I could not understand. And honestly, if I'm being honest in retrospect, I don't think I wanted to understand either. How someone could do something like that to their partner, right? Or even if you decide that, you know what, this isn't it, this isn't the life I want, and like I want a divorce, I want to leave. Okay, fine, like things don't work out. All right, fine, I could accept that. But to make it a living hell for the other person, and then just steal all their money, and like and then just like leave this kid with almost nothing,
I think that
right?
is wild. Just basically the fact that she was able to just be so a part of your life, and then out of nowhere, just she's like, all
Yeah,
right,
just switch 180.
yeah,
Like it just and and so like for me, like I I thought about that. I remember thinking about it back then, and just like I don't get it. I don't understand how this is a thing. And just like I was just angry. I was just really angry, and I'm just like, how could you do this to another person? Nah. I don't want to I don't want to talk to a person like this. And I remember she had wanted to reach out to me and talk to me, and like I refused, like every time, like it several times. You know, she even, I guess she and my mom, if I remember correctly, had spoken, met up privately, spoken, and I guess
wow,
I guess
okay.
I guess they resolved things, right?
I
Like
mean, that's pretty cool, and it kind of sucks that you didn't really get that closure because I think a lot of like even like just step parenting, you generally don't. It's unfair for all intents and purposes. This was your parent.
yeah, but like yeah, again, I didn't no, I didn't for me it wasn't so much something that needed closure, but like just I was just angry at her.
Yeah.
Um, it's
Genuinely.
like isn't it because for me closure means that there's something I missed, didn't understand, Um, and for me, I'm like, no, I don't think I misunderstood anything. You just decided to do these things. These were decisions you made, you know?
Yeah.
So like that, yeah. So it affected my worldview quite a bit. So hitting senior year, going back into why did I join the army?
Yeah,
Hitting,
that's that we hit a yeah. Oh, by the way,
yeah.
Dylan says he's getting ready for his stream. He says love you, Vic.
Love you too, man. Uh,
Going back to the first
yeah. Why I
question,
joined?
why did you join
Yeah,
the army? Yeah.
yeah. So this is the backdrop for why I joined the army. So the thing is, back in high school, I was like a super smart kid. I was,
Dude, you're still a super smart kid. Shut the fuck up.
thank you. But back then I was taking like all honor courses, and like in high school I took like a bunch of AP classes. Like I took AP psychology, AP biology, AP
Hey,
statistics.
please, I'm recording.
Um,
Sorry, my dogs. My dog just. What's up?
so like I was taking college courses and in high school, like I was fucking smart, man.
You're
And
still smart. Oh,
yeah,
alright.
but here's the thing though. Now here's the thing. I was smart, but I wasn't the smartest.
No, wait, this, I mean, someone's always gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, I went to a school that just had a lot of really smart kids, right? So it's like as smart as I was not. I was by far not the smartest one, right? Like I wasn't even like in the top 20,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I was like, it was a small school, but it was a small school of just like really fucking smart kids. Like I remember in my senior year speaking to a sophomore, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, you're smart. Like like
And
those.
now you'll go look back and be like, man, what a fucking idiot. I'm just kidding.
No, he was still smart. So the point I'm trying to make is that like I was really smart, but I wasn't the smartest, right? Which means that all the scholarships and all the grants, none of them went to me. They all went to them,
Yeah.
right? They all went to them. So I didn't have any financial aid, in that respect. And then on top of that, my mother, she didn't make enough money, obviously, to put me through college, right? She's a single mother at that point.
Yeah.
But the thing is, on the FAFSA, she made too much money
How much
for
money?
me to get
What?
FAFSA.
Your mother is a, correct me if I'm wrong, your mother's a construction worker, correct?
Yeah, she's an architectural sheet metal worker.
Hold on, let me write that down. Mother is architectural sheet metal worker. That is so interesting.
Yeah.
That's just a wild, bizarre, random ass job.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting because it's a mixture between uh just uh just production of sheet metal and like artistic creativity. So like in New Haven, just in New Haven alone, Yale, Yale University, just Yale alone, she's worked on like I don't know, like 80% of Yale,
Jesus.
and
So
like
she,
she, huh?
Jesus, that's actually a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Yale is always like updating or, adding new things or whatever. And like she worked on all of it. Like she's worked on all of it. There's um that we can drive around in New Haven. We could drive around in New Haven, we could drive around in Boston, we could drive around New York, and she'll be able to point out exactly all the different schools, libraries, just different industrial or commercial buildings, just that she's worked on. And she's like, this is what I did. I was over there. I did that. I did this. I was on that roof. I was on that roof. I was in that building. Like she's just so many things.
Yeah.
And it could be an architectural sheet metal working ranges from ductwork, right? HVAC system, to gutters
Mm-hmm.
to creating a sculpture out of metal. Right? So it's like this massive range of things um that she could do. And so like but she's more on the technical side, so she does a lot of the more complicated things, like things that really you have to really think about.
I thought she like managed it, so that's interesting. I didn't know that. Hold on, my dog.
Yeah, she's a woman, and construction is fucking
Hey, hey,
like
she's a
50 years
butch.
behind.
She's a butch lesbian woman.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, she holds her own and she does not take shit from anyone.
Unironically,
But
she is manlier than most men today.
absolutely. Um but like but even still, promoting her to, a foreman position and paying her that amount, nah, they don't want to do it.
Of course, it doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me. It's even in like the psych field. Like I will. It's sad because I've met a few very talented pre-psych people already, and I want them to go far. But even they acknowledge, as a female, I will very. Did you just fuck up my safe space?
Actual sheet metal worker. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, she made too much money to put me in college.
that's fucking weird.
Yeah. So according to the government, my mother made too much money to warrant giving me financial aid. But because she was a single mom and had to pay for life, um
She had to pay for. She had to pay for life.
yeah, she had to pay for life. It means that she couldn't put me into college. I remember her like, she's like, hey, this is what I have been able to save up for you to go to school. And it was like a little bit over 7,000.
Fuck.
And like, I remember my senior year, like I remember looking at it and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, this is nowhere near enough to even put me in 1 year.
That's so fucking sad. It's also just devastating how much money college is now.
Yeah. So I couldn't get financial aid. I didn't get any scholarships or grants,
Nice, John.
right?
Nice. Mm-hmm.
So like financially, I'm like, I'm like, if I go to school right now, I'm gonna be in debt for the rest of my life. And then I looked up like archaeology and paleontology and anthropology, and like looked up like what is the career path there? What does it look like? And I'm like, holy shit, I have to have a master's degree just to be an assistant. Like, no. Like, I have to have a PhD just to even be on the starting line. Like, I'm already going to be in debt. Like, I'm going to have no money. And this is essentially academia. They're all poor.
We're all
Um,
poor here.
so I'm like, no, this doesn't make any kind of sense. I know. Um, And so I'm like, all right, well, can I get a job? And I'm like, I'm a high schooler. There's no jobs for me,
Yeah,
right?
that's kind of how it was in Joliet, honestly. Getting a job was impossible. Like, hold on. Welcome to community AI commands. Okay, someone just put in. Okay, so what's really weird and it's kind of fucked up was of course, I grew up in Joliet, which is a predominantly parts of it are where the fuck happened to that broom? Anyway, parts of Joliet are predominantly black. So my school was in a black neighborhood. I grew up in a black neighborhood, and there is a place, and this is where some of my black viewers will freaking laugh at me, but it's fucking true. Church's Chicken, which is everybody's fucking dream to work at. Like, no shit. Getting a job in Joliet in itself was just everybody's fucking dream. And if you try to get a job there, guess, like, all right, so my friend Marcus, goddamn fucking loves chicken, was trying to get a job at Church's Chicken, and he couldn't get a fucking
Mm,
job there. So
yeah,
then comes fucking a friend that I will remain nameless. He's white male, decides to apply for this place, doesn't really give a fuck, got the fucking job.
yeah.
And he's just like, "Hey guys, I got this job," and everyone's just like, "Yeah, because you're fucking white."
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
remember reading up on this study where where the point of the study was trying to determine, does your name affect your chances of
oh
getting a
my
job?
god, dude,
And
that yeah,
it
actually,
100% does. So like this
yeah,
one person, like he's black, and he has like a stereotypical black name, and he applies to like a 100 jobs with his application, with his resume, right?
sorry, look at that.
And then he changes his name to a more stereotypical white name, and it's the same application, it's the
Yeah,
same resume. All he did was change his name, and he got more calls back from his alias
God, it's so
than he
fucked
did.
up, but I believe that.
Yeah, yeah. So like it 100%. Yeah, it fucking sucks. But yeah, so for me, high school senior, halfway through, almost about to graduate, I'm
Yeah,
like, well, shit, I'm too poor to go to school. I don't want to be in debt for the rest of my life. I can't get a job
you're not
because I
white
have
enough to
no
get a job.
experience. I'm not wide enough to get a job. What the fuck
True
am I
though.
gonna do?
Yeah.
And then I remember in homeroom
Oh,
during class, another friend asked my friend who wanted to go to the army. He's like, "Hey, are you going to go to the army? The recruiter was here. I saw the recruiter in the hallway today." And my friend was like, "No, I think I'm gonna like at least get my associates first, and then I'll go." And then I'm listening to them like, "Oh shit, there's the army." And so I actually talked, and so instead of my friend, I'm the one that talked to the recruiter. Um, and I feel like I'm one of the few to say that I lucked out with my recruiter, where he didn't just feed me a bunch of lies. Like he was actually really straightforward with me and just like answered all my questions and all these things. And
am I gonna be fucked if I join the army?
actually, yeah, I asked him like, what is this process going to look like? Um, what is it that I need to do to join, and what job would I be doing? What am I doing? And so he explained the ASVAB, he explained the physical requirement, and he explained about how, like, based off of the ASVAB scores, he would have a list of available positions, um, right then and there, and I could choose which one I wanted.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm like, all right, that sounds good. And he was like, and just because, and once you even get to that point, that doesn't mean you've joined. That just means like, it just means you're still interested. You haven't signed up yet. You can always stop at any time. However, once you do sign the paper, that is the point of no return when you sign that paper. But up
Yeah.
until then, you can always walk out. So like he was super upfront about it. Really, really good guy. Yeah. So yeah, so I did the ASVAB, got a fucking, what was it?
Ooh, what'd
A
you
one,
get
I got like a 118
for your
on
GT?
the,
That's really
yeah,
good. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I got like a 118, like if I remember correctly, like on
That's
all of
very high.
the,
Yeah.
yeah, on all, and it was like my first time taking it. I didn't study whatsoever. I feel bad
Dude,
because
yeah,
I
I would
remember
feel bad.
taking it, I remember taking it with three other kids,
Mm-hmm.
all of them older than me, and I asked them, because they all were like talking with each other and like all nervous and stuff. And I'm like, hey, is this like a really tough test? And they're like, oh yeah, man, I failed it like two times.
What?
He failed it three times, and like
God,
we're
that
all
test was. I feel bad. That test was really easy. Like
I
actually.
know. And so like I took it, and then like we were sitting around waiting for our scores after, and they're all talking about how rough it was and all these things, and I just sat there quiet.
Wait, hey
Be-
Victor, you want to
What's
hear
up?
something funny? Also, Rhino, what do you mean? Yes, not in the army. Most of my friends are. They didn't get the context of that. But Victor, you want to hear something really funny?
What's up?
It's about the ASVAB.
What?
Okay, how the fuck did you get up here? Oh, okay. Alright, hold on. If you hold left click and right click and let them go at the same time, you can make things fly. But Victor, you're smarter than me, Victor.
Oh yeah.
You scored 1 point higher than me. You scored 1 point higher than me, Victor.
Oh wow.
My senpai. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But people failing the ASVAB.
Yeah,
So
it's
wait,
just, it was,
Mino
and I
said
felt really
that's
bad.
or so they say. Okay.
Yeah, so I felt really bad. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the recruiter, he was like, hey, listen, don't say what your score is. I'm like, they all failed, didn't they? He said, yeah.
Fuck it. I feel bad. You want to? Okay, so my story was my recruiter forgot that I was taking the ASVAB. I got
Yeah.
really fucked up drunk the day before and took the ASVAB. I literally fell asleep while in the middle of the ASVAB.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you know that the question that asks you which way the gears are going?
Yeah.
I was just picturing it in my head, and then it just wasn't clicking, and then I knocked the fuck out. I woke up, and I had like 10 minutes left to take it, and I had to bullshit the rest of my answers. I was like, oh fuck. And then I was just like, oh god damn it, I like bombed this. God damn it. Nope. Got a Warren freaking 17.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. So yeah, so got that as a 118 and just like had, very first thing that came, what was it? It wasn't even the first thing. Actually, supply came up. So like
Hey.
a whole bunch of office jobs came up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
I wish I
I'm
didn't. I
like,
wish I
no.
didn't pick supply. Supply's the worst MOS in the world. I literally only had two options because that's all they had available.
Yeah, because what was it? It was supply, it was lawyer, chaplain assistant, uh, combat medic.
Combat medic. What MOS?
Yeah,
What MOS did you choose?
of course I chose combat medic.
You hear that, Dalton? Beep beep beep. Dalton's a 68 whiskey.
Actually, it was funny because it wasn't even just combat medic. Um, was it LP and RN? Because it was a 68 whiskey Mike 6,
I
so it had
think.
an attachment to it.
Dalton, are you still in chat? Because I think that's actually what his wife is.
Oh
No,
wow, okay.
or maybe she has something to do with labs. She has a really complex actually
Yeah,
MOS.
yeah, no. Lab was something else. Lab is something else. But
Yeah,
I
I
was
might be wrong.
but
What the
yeah, but
fuck?
back in the day I was a 68 whiskey Mike 6, which meant that I was more on the hospital. I was more like
You were the bitch of the doctor. You were a doctor bitch.
I was a doctor bitch, yeah.
Fuck, that's
Well, until we deployed, because then we deployed and fucking I just left and hung out with all the infantry and fucking tank guys, and like I just went off base with them. I went because they're like, hey, we're short on medics. You want to come with us? I'm like, yeah,
You're like,
sure.
hell yeah, brother, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Emotional trauma time.
it really was. It was. Oh my god, like I shouldn't have done it at all.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're
but
just like,
like,
oh my
yeah.
god, wait, Victor, look up, look up. That's where the helmet went. I was looking for it.
Oh my god, that's so weird. All right. But yeah, so like I remember my first deployment. I went to Iraq. I stayed in the
Yeah.
hospital. Stayed in the hospital for most of it,
Catch this.
and
Oh, catch this.
like it wasn't
Catch.
that bad.
Okay.
Like you obviously have, the stuff.
Yeah.
But like I didn't like go out of the wire.
Yeah.
But my second deployment to Afghanistan, I actually deployed with the infantry unit because for my first deployment, one of my battle buddies, he was like, "Hey, I'm deploying with this infantry unit. Do you want to come with?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And boy, was that a bad idea.
It always is.
That is when the real PTSD kicked in for me. That's where most of my trauma comes from.
Because of all the drinking. Just kidding.
No, the Dream King became a consequence of that deployment. That's
Yeah,
so
you didn't go
between
before
that
me.
deployment, So between that deployment and my third deployment, I had a major drinking problem. I was drinking myself unconscious like every fucking like every other night at least. It was not good. I went to therapy eventually.
What made you
Um,
what made you go to therapy? Like, what was that draw? Because that's not something, especially for veterans. That's not something that veterans usually just do.
yeah, no. So it was actually an ex.
Ugh, it was a girl, or
Well,
we don't judge
not
here.
not so much that the girl wanted me to go to therapy, but I saw what I was doing and like and kind of had this moment of clarity of like, oh shit, I am becoming the kind of person that I hate, right? And for me, that meant I was becoming like my mother.
Oh, you
Uh,
don't hate your mom though. You did you
I don't hate my mom,
yeah,
but there are certain things about her that I just
didn't.
cannot tolerate anymore. So after, and it all happened after the divorce, like years later, the divorce just like affected everything about us, right? So like for me it was, I became very short tempered. I was very huge skeptic on everything. um but like for my mother, it just she just stopped trusting people. She started distancing herself from everyone. She started keeping everyone at arm's length. Like she doesn't let anyone close. Period. She doesn't let anyone close. She
That's
doesn't talk to
understandable.
anyone about her feelings.
Considering
Um,
considering what happened to her though.
yeah, no, I mean, I know it's reasonable. However, she doesn't let herself be helped, right? And that's the bigger issue, right? So
Yeah.
it's like it is. So like I mean, it's 2023. This happened like in 2000 fucking what, 7?
How long were they together?
Ugh, since I was 5.
Yeah, that's it's not something that's just like usually it takes like a 5 year relationship on average will take about 2.5 years to heal from, just shit like that. Like it did. My
Yeah, but
I was
like
married for
so
like 5 years, so
but they were together for like 10 years, right? They were
so
together for
yeah.
10 years, about, right? And it has been more than 10 years. Like it's been more than 15 years
Yeah.
like since then, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like uh it's been too long, right? Like it's just been too long. Like
You're like, "Mom, please."
kind of. Like it's just tiring where I can't spend 30 minutes with it. Like literally 30 minutes. Like I've actually timed it. Like usually when I visit her, 20 minutes is about the time frame where we could just enjoy each other's company. And after that, it gets real dicey. Eventually, she decides to talk about something that upsets her, or I just somehow say the wrong thing unintentionally and it
Yeah.
upsets her. And then after that, it becomes a major argument, and neither of us are happy anymore. And then I leave, and we're both just kind of bitter at the end. Because for me, I learned through therapy and just kind of, I don't know, through self reflection that I I want and need to talk things out, right? Like I have this anxiety, not anxiety, but like I have this thing where like I need to not only understand you, but I need to feel that you understand me, right?
Yeah.
And with my mother, just the second someone disagrees with her, all bets are off. Instantly, she closes up like a fucking porcupine.
She sounds happy.
And no, but like it's to this extreme where it's just like everything has to go her way. Everyone has to agree with her. Otherwise, she labels you as an enemy, essentially, and just like completely disregards you, right? And it's so infuriating trying to talk to someone who looks at you and you can read their mind and you can hear them saying, I know better than you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can see how that can be a little frustrating.
Right? Like it's just like because that means she's not listening.
Yeah, she just
She's
made
not
up her
listening.
mind. Yeah.
Exactly. She's already made up. And so like this is the frustration, right? Like this is the frustration. That's why for me I've learned to just kind of like, you know what? I have spent years trying to talk to you. I've spent years trying to reason with you. I spent years trying to help you like overcome your hurt, right? As you know, as best I can. Because I've seen her take her issues and take it out on others in like the worst way possible. Like I've seen like since the divorce, I've seen her with partners who fall in love with her because I'll be honest, she is a fun person. Like when she's
Yeah.
happy
That's
and
awesome.
she's having a good time,
Yeah.
she's a really fun person and she's a really interesting person. She has a lot of different skills and she has a lot of different hobbies and interests and just like she really is an interesting person and when she likes you and you know and she cares about you, she takes care of you, right?
But she
And
also
so,
closes herself off, probably.
but she just closes herself off from the get go. And I cannot count how many times I've seen her start like flings with other women and like to their face flat out tell them like when they say, hey, I want something more than just sex, she'll say, okay, sure, we could do that, but this isn't going to work.
Wow.
Just to their face, flat out, just deny them.
Has your mom
Just
considered going to therapy at all, or is that something that's kind of a dicey subject for her?
is dicey. I remember she was supposed to go to therapy. It didn't last because again, she has the whole mindset of I know better, even to a therapist. So like she goes to therapy and nothing comes of it because she doesn't take it seriously. I remember she was court ordered to go to anger management.
Oh God.
Yeah, she was court ordered to go to
Well,
anger
okay.
management.
We're gonna have to go back on that because that's kind of funny and interesting at the same time. Because you have to do something to do that. But
Yeah,
okay, sorry. But what were you saying?
yeah, no, she had to go to anger management, and she went twice.
Hmm.
She went twice, and like every time she came home, she was like, "This is stupid," and I'm like, "You're not even trying."
No, what's stupid is taking an asynchronous class about feminism online and getting the minute I say something wrong. I'm not even saying something wrong, just say something. Getting fucking attacked by all my only female classmates. It was the worst mistake. My wife was or my fiance is the one who made me freaking take this class. She's like, Rob, you will really like this class. Oh, it's so I'm the only guy in it. It hurts.
Yeah,
Sorry, but that's a mistake.
yeah,
Uh, um, God, I'm
yeah. So
sorry.
no, it's just frustrating, and so I just learned to just kind of let her be. I'm like, nope, I'm not invested anymore.
Yeah,
So like, I think, and it's funny because I think that she like this last year since my daughter was born has been the happiest I've ever seen her
yeah,
because she gets to babysit my daughter.
that's
And so
awesome.
she is
Yeah,
more than happy to ignore me. She's more than happy to ignore my wife. She just wants to
your wife and your mom get along pretty well, right?
uh
Oh man, I didn't know that. That's not something
uh
we have to delve into. That's quite personal, so we don't really have to delve into that.
no, I mean I told you before I'm an open book. So I just don't want to like keep going on tangents and like ruin the plan that you set up because I know you had like
No,
things you
absolutely
wanted
not.
to talk about.
Honest to God, I this is the timing and everything. I am totally cool with having another interview with you if you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
Or we can even just make this like a daily, like, who knows, eventually I can go from interviews to just having a talk show too as well, just talking about stuff.
Yeah, could
But
do that.
I'm still open to what I'm doing. Initially I probably will do more interviews because I really enjoy just getting to learn about people's lives. It's something that's always interested me, hearing people's story, especially in the army. That's all we
Yeah.
do, especially like when you're in freaking Iraq.
Oh yeah.
All we did was just talk about like our lives and shit. When I initially joined the army, I got to my unit, and as soon as I got to my unit, they're like, "All right, buddy, cool. Welcome to the army. We're going to Iraq." And I was like, "We're fucking what?" We got off ramped. I got lucky. We got off ramped. I was not ready to play. I was like, "Bro, I have not jacked off enough to go to fucking Iraq." Like, I literally touch feet from basic. I'm fucking just at my unit. Literally, I was scared shitless. I had no idea. I was a fucking child, and they were just like, "You're going to Iraq," and I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
That's scary, dude. I even told this girl that I've been dating that I loved her. I never did because I didn't understand what love was. But
Okay.
it was actually, there's a sad story behind that as well. She said I love you to you, and she's just like, I'm like, oh, I don't know how I feel because I have no idea what love is. You joined the army.
Yeah, so financial stability, right? So like again, I was poor, my mother was poor. She made too much apparently
Mm-hmm.
to for me to get financial aid, but nowhere near enough to actually pay for college. I didn't get any scholarship or grants. And when I saw that like well my future prospects were for like archaeology. So yeah, so like I'm just like, no, I can't do this. I can't go to college and just ruin my life being in debt. I don't want to do that, and I can't go to work. So what the hell? And then
And I can't be a
I've,
stripper.
I can't be a stripper. I'm not that sexy. Um,
I mean, I've seen your glasses. I don't know.
but
Sergeant Sexy Glasses. That was my nickname for you.
yeah. So
Why are you still doing that?
I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, so then my friend mentioned the army. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's a thing. And back then I was doing martial arts and stuff. I'm
What?
like, you know,
What the fuck martial art did you do?
mixed martial arts. So with the basis of
MMA.
Muay Thai.
Of course, all MMA is basis of Muay
Yeah,
Thai.
basis Muay Thai. But actually, so like I grew up with martial arts. So my mother actually knows martial arts.
What? What does your mom know?
So she knows kung fu.
What form?
Monkey.
Monkey style kung fu?
Yeah,
Do you
so she taught
does
me
she,
monkey style. Her younger brother practiced Mantis, which is weird because he's a really big guy, like
that
really
is
big.
really weird for big dudes.
Yeah, like really weird, but like dude, when I like he's like over 300, like 350. And when I say he could do a fucking roundhouse over my head, like it's nothing. Like this dude, I've never seen such a big guy so limber. It's crazy.
Dude, you got a Pavilion. Congratulations, by the way, John. That's I think that's a legendary actually, isn't it? Sorry, I didn't going off
Yeah.
the chat, but Pavilion, I'm pretty sure no it's not. It's just a butterfly. Alright.
No.
So I thought that was a legendary I'm thinking of Victini. But damn, that is so random and interesting. I don't know if you
Yeah,
know
no,
this.
he even went to China. Like I remember like he was part of a
Cool.
dojo in the States, and then like he was so good, he was winning tournaments. His dojo, his sensei sent him to China to study under some Shaolin monks for like a year. So yeah, so like he's good. He's really good. Um but yeah, so like I grew up with martial arts. So
Yeah,
like I get
I'm actually a third degree black belt in Taekwondo.
oh
I have
nice.
my belt over here. Taekwondo ain't shit though. I
Yeah.
did teach army combatives 3 years though. At Medcom.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I remember you telling me that before. Yeah.
It was it focuses on, of course, Muay Thai, boxing,
Yeah.
and Brazilian Jiu.
Yep. But yeah, so I'm like, hey, I do martial arts. Maybe if I learn a bit more about the army, maybe like their values, would line up with like what I want to be, what I want to do and stuff. And so like again, I talked to the recruiter. He just was very upfront with me, and I did well in the ASVAB, and like I really wanted to just kind of dive in and just like kind of
Yeah.
um really uphold like the army values, right? The warrior ethos and like all
Loyalty,
that.
duty,
Yeah,
respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage.
yeah, all that fucking jazz, all that
God,
cringe.
I still remember that shit. Fuck.
Yeah.
Man.
I will never leave a fallen comrade. Submission. I will always play submission
Mission
first.
first.
Oh my god. Anyways, uh, fucking yeah.
I just dropped my Mandalorian. All right.
But yeah, so then I joined the army because because I found myself in in a position where I really had nothing to do with my life, right? Like I didn't know
Yeah.
what to do. It was either you know go into debt or die,
Yo,
essentially,
starved to
because like
death.
I couldn't work, right? So like it was yeah, like go into debt, going to school, or get a job, part time at fucking McDonald's and probably live that life for the rest of my life because once you're in that, there's little to no chance of getting out.
True.
And or just, quit, right? Just fucking,
Just
quit
control.
life.
You just gotta control all that. Alt. Oh my god. Control. Delete yourself.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck
Oh,
it.
that's
I'll,
impressive.
yeah. So I'm like, I want purpose. I need money and I want purpose. I want to do better. I do want to go to school and the army will pay for it if I stay in long enough. So fuck it, I'll do it. Uh, Stupid move on my part because I should have just joined the Air Force. Anyways,
No. I've seen the Air Force. Fuck. Hey,
I
dude.
know, I
I made
know.
you a safe space, by the way, if you want to.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah, just get
appreciate
on
it.
the.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm low crawling, ready to fucking get in combat. By the way, look at this. This.
But yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, so that's why I joined the army. I needed something to do with my life, and I realized that in the moment.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and joined the army behind my mother's back.
Fuck. Your mom didn't know.
My mom had no idea
God, how did she
until
feel about that?
how did what?
How did she feel about that?
Oh, she was devastated. It was one of the few times, very few times. Like at that point, I could count on one hand the amount of times that I saw her cry.
Oh.
Yeah. And so like that was probably the fourth time I've ever seen her cry in my life. Right? Yeah,
But like,
she did not take it well. She did not take it well.
you've accomplished so much because of the army, even though like the army is a huge toxic relationship.
Oh yeah, and she will
Yeah.
swear up and down. She will like every single time something good happens from the army, she'll always say that she's proud.
That's
And
awesome.
every time I have even a uh, you know, slight issue with the army, she will swear up and down, I always knew it was a bad idea. You should have never joined
Yeah.
this and this and that. But like those are her real feelings, right? Like it's like she from the beginning didn't want me to join.
Nobody,
Even
unless
yeah,
they're like the fucking proud father. No fucking.
yeah.
Nobody wants their
But
kid
like
joining the army. Yeah.
yeah, she never wanted me to join. She's never supported me being in the military. Even when, I'm a staff sergeant now, right? Like
Your staph infection.
yeah. Like I'm a staff sergeant. I fucking deployed. I've done awards. I've saved lives. You know, like
I've ended lives.
now I have school, pretty much for free. You know, and it's
But you
like
just have to call the VA.
I just gotta call the VA and fucking
Yeah.
deal with them. But
God.
I have a wife, I have a daughter. I'm
Thankfully, I
not.
don't. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, honestly,
Really? You really
yes,
think so?
because I owe the army for changing my life the way it did, right? Like I know there's like a whole bunch of bad things that happened, right? Like I got PTSD, obviously, right? Like there's some trauma, obviously, I've been physically injured, mentally injured, right? I've been
Yeah.
through hard times, but it's those hard times that really shaped me. And on top of that, even more so, it's meeting the people that I met, is going through the training that I went through that actually helped me become the man that I am today. When I first joined the army, I was a fucking arrogant piece of shit. Like, when I think back on who I was when I left high school, I don't like him. I don't like the younger version of me. I feel like if I had a time machine and met him,
He punched
I
himself
would
in the
not
face.
be. I would fucking punch him. Like absolutely, I wouldn't like him.
I don't think
Right?
any of us really like ourselves though growing up.
No, 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 no. But there's a difference between like, oh man, I don't like this actual. I don't like. I feel like I was so cringy back then because I was so young and naive. No, 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 no. Believe me when I say like when I think back of who I was and how I
No!
acted
Oh my
and how I thought of myself and how I thought of the world. Oh my God, was I a fucking piece of shit?
god.
Um,
Don't
like
be
no, because I was really smart, right? I was really smart and I was really arrogant about it.
don't be
I
so
looked
fucking hard on
down.
yourself.
I would look down on other people. Like I was an asshole. If you couldn't if you couldn't hold a conversation with me, I looked down on you. Like
God.
I thought I was above you. Like I was a piece of shit. Right? And it
What
wasn't until the army, right? Going
made you
through basic training,
made you
going
feel
through
like a piece of
AOT.
shit?
Yeah, they treated me like a piece of shit, sure, but like that actually isn't what got me. What got me is like the second deployment, right? So like yeah, basic training helped me learn more about like others and how to be more empathetic and how to play nice with others, right?
Yeah.
Um, you know, but like and then the first deployment, I pretty much stayed in the hospital, so I didn't really change that much. I wasn't exposed to a lot. Like I saved some lives. That was intense, sure, but like it was all kind of part of the training. I expected it. It wasn't until the second deployment where I was with the infantry unit and I was under fucking, and everything was under the wire, right? Like it was like
Yeah.
fucking getting shot at. People are in danger actively, like fucking I almost lost my hand. I almost died. Fucking
I still think about
I
that. I almost lost my hand.
yeah, no, yeah, fucking an explosion almost not only killed me, but almost blew my hand off.
Fucking
Um
Christ. I was lucky enough to never have anything happen. Like nothing that remotely dangerous. Everything was always just like literally there was a safety briefing. Don't stand next to Ortiz. You'll get shot. Everybody got shot but me. Like not literally everybody, but most people got shot around me for some reason.
yeah, yeah, no, like I fucking like that's like a deployment, man. Like almost lost my hand, almost lost my life.
Yeah.
I failed at saving someone. Like
Oh. Yeah, I feel bad
like
again now.
I had someone die because I couldn't provide aid well enough. And that I fooled that I have oh man,
Yeah.
I had therapy for that for a while. Um yeah, yeah. So it's but as dark as that second deployment got, it was the camaraderie. It was
Oh
kind of
man,
that.
that's actually a conversation I have pinned that I want to talk about. We're gonna probably save that one for the next session if you're cool with that. But I think
Yeah.
that's a huge talking point to go into social integration. What makes the army such a positive, toxic place in the first place? And you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Because
absolutely.
it fucking is. Let's be real here.
It is.
It is a toxic, positive environment for some freaking reason.